Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. It's been a minute, baby, but I'm back. Get on your phone and call somebody and tell them I am the 5-star general. Tonight we gonna pull the underwear down on some of these crooked black politicians. We gonna talk a little Travis Scott and Astroworld. And we're going to talk about them racist school board members and HISD that are now in a runoff election. Let's get to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you guys thank you for taking the time out to tune in, because, you know, without you good people, there would not be a show at all. So I'm very, very grateful for you taking the time out to hang out with your boy, man. I am very, very grateful for you taking the time out to hang out with your boy, the 5-star general, because, you know, it is what it is, man. Hold on just a second. All right. Hold on just a second. I'm trying to get some things in order real quick. It's been a minute since I've been on here, and I want to tell you good people, man, it's a blessing to be back and hang out with you and do the things that we do. We gave it a shot running for school board. It didn't work out the way that we thought it would work out. And with that being said, I got a political announcement, I think Wednesday or Thursday, but I'll let you know what's going on. So, man, how have y'all been, man? How have you guys been? It's been a while, and I'm back, and I'm ready to get to it, and I'm going to bring that heat. I will tell you that I appreciate all the help you gave me when I ran for school board. Without y'all, I wouldn't have been able to do it. A lot of people kind of know what happened to me that night. It was some cheating went on. I told my team to look into it, and if they can find what they need to find, let's take it to the next level. But in the meantime, we're going to make a political announcement, I think either Wednesday or Thursday of this week, and then we're going to go from there. And I think we're going to have a little fun tonight. You guys make your comments. What you need to do is push the share button. Push the share button. Get this video out there, because we're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. We're going to talk about some stuff tonight that's going to be good. Bear with me for a second. And we're going to get this thing up and moving. Hold on a second. Let's get this thing up. I'm trying to get you something. I think the elephant in the room. I think the elephant in the room is Travis Scott. I think the elephant in the room is Travis Scott. And make sure you hit that share button, man. We need to share this video. Share this video as many times as you can. Share it to your groups that you're in. But the elephant in the room is Travis Scott. We know this past weekend, his Astroworld concert series that he normally does turned into a certified debacle, and it was horrible. And 8 people lost their lives. Countless numbers of people were injured at this concert. And you know, the crazy part is, man, is it didn't have to happen. It did not have to happen. So everybody's trying to figure out who should they blame. Travis, you know, it wasn't his fault. Well, I'm looking for something that I want to show y'all. And if you watch, if I can get it up, just bear with me. I'm trying to get it up. Let's get out of here. If you can still hear me, just sit tight. Let's sit tight. I'm trying to get it up for you. Okay. Let's go here. I'm trying to get it up for you. I'm finna show you something, and then you tell me. Okay, so that's
Around 60 long access to account from the new device. They gonna enter it into didn't receive a crime. No, that ain't what I want. So I'm trying to get something up for you. I want to show you something. Bear with me. Let's go here. Okay. Make sure we got it. No thanks. Okay. So I could not get the video. I'm trying to get you a video. I want you to see something, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Let's, I don't need that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to get you a video up because I want to show you something. I want to show you. Now, I got one better than that, Abrevia. I got one better than that. I got one that was better than that. Hold on. Okay. Now, there is a video out there where, you see the people telling them to stop and all of that. But I'm trying to show you something else that I found. Because you know me, I'm gonna dig and I'm gonna find the nuggets, me. That's what I'm gonna do. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get there. Let's see if I got it. I almost got it. Let's get it up. I'm getting there, so bear with me. Bear with me. I'm getting the video. It's a video I want to show you. You don't want to miss this. Let's get this thing up. Let's okay, I'm trying to enlarge it. Okay, there we go. I got it up. So bear with me for just a second. Okay, I got the music down. Now, a lot of people are saying this is not Travis's fault. And to a certain degree, it is. To a certain degree, it is. And I want you to tell me what you think of this video that I'm about to put up. Hold on. Let me see. Let me get it up here. Now, can you guys, let's make sure you guys can see this. Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay. So now I want to show you this. Now, you tell me if he could have done something to help. Now, you watching what I'm watching? This is Travis performing, watching them carry this lifeless body out of this venue. Now, what I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna keep playing it. But what I am gonna say is, Negro, you supposed to stop right there. You were supposed to stop right there, big homie. I don't know if people understand the power that you have when you have that microphone in your hand. But you could have stopped right there. You kept singing. A lifeless body, and you kept singing. You kept singing. Whoever was on the soundboard, you kept letting them sing because you could have turned it off. But I tell you something else. I got 3 people reached out to me today. I'm gonna have footage from backstage. Shit finna hit the fan now. Say, man. First of all, let's say a prayer for those people that lost their lives. Also, let's say a prayer for their family because nobody sent their kids to this thing or their family members to this event for them to be trampled and hurt and all of that. So realistically, let's say a prayer. So where was the ball dropped? We know where the ball was dropped, man. This was a county event. I got a text today. Let me tell you something, man. Why are they doing a criminal investigation? According to Channel 13, the Houston Fire Department was denied access by the on-site security and just given a map. And reporter Ted Oberg also said since it was on county property, the city had little authority. So now we passed the buck. It's not about Keisha, stop. This is not about blaming a black man. This is about pure negligence. This is about negligence. This is about negligence. It doesn't matter how many people went. If they went and they bought a ticket, y'all bear with me, I love Crunchy Munch. If they bought a ticket, then technically they could go. But at the same time, that venue should have been secure. So this is not about a black man. I'd be saying the same thing if it was a white artist that did it. I'm going to be honest with you. I really would. Because this is not about a color. This is about somebody losing their life. So if it's about a black man, he got a 9-year-old black kid fighting for his life now. That was that. Anybody got something to say about color now? This is about negligence. This is about political money changing hands. Why didn't you have the same security measures in place from less than a week ago when you had the World Series in town? Y'all don't get it. But I bet if that was your family member, you'd have no understanding right now. You just had the World Series in town. The World Series. And you didn't have these kind of problems. You know why you didn't have them? Because the special response group from the Houston Police Department worked the World Series. You have special elite units that work these type of events. There were too many corners cut. Somebody got paid under the table for this not to happen the right way. I'm sorry, y'all, but you don't understand that a lot of rappers travel around with, especially these youngsters, with a whole bunch of money in cash. And when I'm watching the breaching of the gate, did y'all see it? Where was the police when they breached the gate? At 2 in the afternoon. I didn't see one police officer in that melee. And Travis is right. They just canceled Playboy Carter in October for the same foolishness minus the killing. You just did this to somebody at a smaller venue where you canceled the event because of safety precautions, but we didn't feel that they violated safety protocol at an event of that magnitude. There's really only two places that you could have did that event if you really wanted to be safe. And that was at Reliance Stadium or Wright Stadium. Wright Stadium can hold 100,000. Even though they'll never put 100,000 in there. It can hold 100,000. So my question is, who got paid so that the right security teams would not be there? I can guarantee you, if you look at the actual contract, I think it's like 52 pages. It hardly mentions security. So who are these security people that you had at this event? Who are these security people? People have lost their lives. And if y'all don't think that the city and the county is involved and somebody ain't getting no money, why was Dora the Explorer at the stadium after it happened? And I'm talking about your county judge, Lena Hidalgo. Because these people got paid to cut corners. These people got paid to cut corners. And when that type of thing happens, you have what happened happens. So it's not about black or white to me. It's about negligence. And this particular negligence, I don't care what color it was. When you got babies losing their lives, then there's something seriously wrong with that. And I'm telling you that there are going to be countless numbers of lawsuits. What you've seen in the last couple of days is nothing compared to when all these people lawyer up, man. The city getting hit, the county getting hit, they all getting hit. Look at what Travis just wrote. They also canceled political conventions due to COVID protocols a year ago with far less attendance. Is he lying? No, he's not lying. They allow themselves to play the law average, and the law average has them in a position that they really do not want to be in. It's a position that they don't want to be in. And our favorite politicians have gotten paid. Well, when one of them gonna go live on, they look at this, they look at me, they look at my blogs, they look at everything in this thing. You feel what I'm saying? They look at everything pertaining to me. When one of them gonna say I'm lying? They can't say I'm lying because they don't know what I know at this moment. I know something that they don't know. I'm saying somebody got paid. Follow the money. Then when you follow the money, you're going to see that they cut so many corners. I don't give a damn if TD Jakes was out there. Somebody been closer to God. I'm just going to tell you the real. Is this the first time they've done something like that? No. You remember a few years back, we had a big freeze. I think about 4 years back. Remember the address, the club on OST? On OST? You come hang out with me, Demetri, if you want. That was the club, the address on OST and 288. And it was freezing. Remember, we couldn't move, man. Everything was down for a few days. Why was Floyd Mayweather at that club and that club wasn't even through being built? You telling me a politician didn't know that was going on? Well, I talked to a politician, my city council member at the time, Dwight Boykin. Man, how this club open and these people ain't got no permits? They opened that club that night when Floyd Mayweather was there. Hold on, y'all. Let me send a link out. Send a link. Oh Lord, I'm so lost nowadays. Y'all bear with me. We're finna get a guest on. Hold on a second. Oh Lord. Demetra, inbox me your email address again. For some reason, it ain't just automatically pulling up. Hold on. Let me try this here. But send it to me regardless. Let's go Gmail. Y'all hold on. I'm trying to get somebody in here. So Harris County is definitely at fault. Harris County is definitely at fault. And these people did not have to die. I don't care what nobody tells me. We're going to get somebody in here. And okay, that's it. Hold on, y'all. Let me send this thing real quick. Hold on, man. So they had a whole club open during the freeze of about 4 or 5 years ago, and no permits on the club. See, when you in good favor with them politicians, they'll cut some corners. Now, this thing with Travis, this Astroworld thing, that could generate a good 24 million in 2 days, easily. Could generate a good 24 million 2 days. How much does it cost to actually buy them off? How much does it cost? So if you're trying to figure out who's at fault, there are several entities that are at fault at this moment. I can tell you that right now. The city's at fault. And if now they're saying that this was on county property and the city basically didn't have a lot of jurisdiction over the venue, then why was the police chief talking to Travis before it started? That's county property. So where were the constables? Where were the sheriffs? You feel me? Where were the sheriffs? Everybody that should have been there were not there. How do you run an event of that magnitude and don't have the necessary safety measures in place in case something happens? Because you play the law average and somebody's palms got greased. But you know what's going to bust it wide open? When somebody don't take a settlement and go to that courtroom. When somebody don't take a settlement and go to that courtroom, it's all going to come out. And at that point, folks are going to be ducking for political cover. And they're going to leave Travis, quote unquote, pissing in the wind. That's what I tell you. That's what I tell you. What's up?
What we talking about?
We're talking about the Astroworld disaster and Travis Scott, who's at fault, where the breakdowns came in. And honestly, between me and you, I know that I've been an entertainer. And there's a big concert about to pop off on the 11th or the 12th, Scarface's last concert at the House of Blues. And I guarantee you they made those promoters jump through hoops, and that venue's nowhere near as big as the other. Somebody got their palms greased for there not to be enough security at this particular event. And if we remember, less than a week ago, we had the World Series in town. So the police department has a special group called the SRG group, the Security Response Group, that are trained specifically for big events and dignitaries, like maybe Biden comes into town. These guys deal with crowd control. So how does something like this happen? What's your opinion?
Well, hello, everybody. Nice to be back on here. I see everybody in the comment section. So there's a lot of levels to this. So anybody who knows anything about Travis Scott, you know that his concerts are kind of wild, right? And he even encourages that type of behavior. I don't know if you saw his special on Netflix, but it was just a bunch of jumping around and screaming. And he was even telling people to run past the barriers. And when security or police would try to throw out people who were kind of rebel rousers, he would say, nah, leave them alone, and even pull them up on the stage. And so also Travis Scott has been arrested twice for inciting mayhem at his concerts. And so I say all that to say, I don't think there's anything security could do if you are the performer and you're up there. I mean, it was 50,000 people there, and you're egging people on to, because he said, and I'm gonna paraphrase here, but y'all better make the mother effing earth, quake, and all that other stuff. And so I don't even think him and Drake were on 30 seconds before all hell broke loose. And so I don't think this is a security thing. I think this is him, as my daughter perfectly pointed out, having a God complex. I can get these people to do whatever I want them to do. Now, there was also a story of a guy who said that he was paralyzed at one of his concerts because he was thrown off of a balcony. So I guess they said that Travis gave everybody the nod to go ahead and jump, because they do the crowd surfing and they jump into the crowd and stuff. So he told them to jump off the balconies. He said, I wasn't going to jump. I was pushed. And so he is paralyzed due to that. So it's, Travis has a propensity to rile up the crowd. So I really believe it was probably out of the security's, hands. I mean, what could they do,
Every event or every venue has a maximum capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them, no matter if they're inside or outside, they have a maximum capacity. I think that's going to come into play in court, because based on the number of patrons that attend the event, that tells you how many police officers you should have there. That, I don't know what that ratio is, in the school district. I think every 100 people, we had to have a cop if we did an event. So I've done simple events just trying to raise money, and I'm going to have 400 people. I got to have 4 officers. So they're saying that they had 500 of these officers and 300 security personnel. But when I watched them breach the gate, I don't know if you saw that part, when they breached the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see no security officers at that gate. I saw some kids with some yellow jackets on or whatever that is they were wearing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kids are not trained in crowd control. But more importantly, they breached the gate on this same event in 2019.
And there's a tweet of him telling people to do that. So he is telling his fans to misbehave and to, get around the protocols of the security, whatever company. And I agree with you. A lot of times the security company is made up of kids or people who is not normally their job. They might be working that event, so that's not really their specialty on a regular basis. And so I don't know. I just don't think it was anything security could do.
Well, if you do the numbers, would it be easier to pay 300 people that might make $15 to $20 an hour, or employ the number of police officers that he said who make no less than $50 an hour? That's why I'm saying I've seen the actual contract. And in the contract, there's really nothing about safety in there. But the thing is, where is it written in that you will have X amount of police officers that are trained to deal with these type of events? This is outside at Reliance Stadium. Right across the street, we normally have the rodeo. Mm-hmm. It's 100,000 people be there. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that thing be so secure, it's unreal. But I just think that they let it keep going. They made their money. It is what it is. And that reminds me of the rodeo when the pandemic first started, where they allowed the rodeo to continue going for days when they knew that the pandemic was spreading. So we knew they had to make their money. I feel bad for the people that lost their lives. I feel bad for their families. The artist who could have just turned his microphone off, I don't feel bad for him. The sound man who could have just shut the music down, I don't feel bad for him, because all of these people should be sued unmercifully. Now, I wish there was a way we could bring these good people back, but we know that's not going to happen. So the only recourse that the family has is to sue them, and it is what it is. And I don't think Travis will lose a dime. Live Nation's gonna get sued like crazy. But where I think it'll hurt Travis the most is a lot of venues, just like in Vegas today, they're gonna start canceling him. They're not gonna take the liability issue. And if somebody does book him, I think his insurance policy is gonna be so high, it may not even be worth doing it. So you tell me.
No, I mean, I 100% agree with you. He is a liability. I can't think of an insurance company that would take that risk, because the insurance company that insured this concert, they're going to have to pay a lot of people. I mean, when I say they, it's Drake, Travis, Live Nation, and NRG. They're all being sued. And so that's going to cost a lot of money, but I can't think of too many insurance companies that will take that risk, especially since Travis has a propensity to do those things. He is well known to incite mayhem. He was arrested and actually pled guilty to doing it at one particular time. And so that's his MO. And like I said, we were watching his Netflix special, and the whole thing was just comprised of just animalistic behavior of him telling people to do stuff. And so I don't know. I think I don't want to say never, but I think he's going to have a hard time coming back from this.
Well, we're going to still talk about it, but let's switch gears for a second. Now, I got a lot of people that are upset with parents who allowed their young children to go to this event and not be supervised. And you have some people that are calling for some parents to be, charged with negligence in their own right. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a double-edged sword as far as that's concerned, because the youngest victim was 14. I think there's a 16-year-old in there, and maybe the other ones were adults. And so
we got one today. He's fighting for his life in the hospital, 9 years old. He was actually on his father's shoulders when all of this started.
So he was with his dad. He was with his dad, and so he was in right standing, I guess. But see, there's two issues for me. For one, as a parent, why would you send your minor to a concert unsupervised? And on the concert's end, why would you allow a minor in there without adult supervision? I mean, we've been to concerts, even some of the most, milder concerts, there's weed being smoked, and, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And so I don't understand why a concert would allow a minor to come in there. So that it's on both people. You know what I mean? It should have been provisions on both sides to avoid that.
Now, do you think, because I spoke on this a little bit earlier, right before you came on, do you think there's any fault with the city and the county? Because that ground is county property. That ground is county property. And what I found strange today is when Ted Oberg did his report on Channel 13, the city is trying to push it off like they didn't have jurisdiction over the venue. And that was strange to me, because if you didn't have jurisdiction over the venue, then why was your police chief talking to Travis Scott before and telling him that things didn't look safe? I really think they're trying to pass the buck on this thing, but I think it's so bad that they're not going to be able to. They're not going. I think the city and the county has fault in this.
Well, I guess I would ask you, why do you think the city has fault?
Because, for example, if you were outside of the venue, I got several people that were outside, passing by different things. You saw HPD officers doing like crowd control outside of the venue. So somebody allowed them to be able to do that. So it's kind of like they tied themselves into it, even though they were outside of the venue, which I'm thinking, it's just like a ball game over there. I mean, it's what it is. But I think you should have had them inside of the venue, especially if you had a prior history with this same event getting out of control.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they should totally escape responsibility, because it wasn't a secret that's Travis's MO. But how are you complicit in, and I'm speaking from a city standpoint, when he's given the cue, to turn up, for lack of better words, and then they start pushing, because that's how the people died. They were actually kind of smashed, right, from all the pressure from the crowd pushing them forward. So what really could the city or police officer, anybody do to stop that? Because I've seen a lot of eyewitness testimony from people, and they were just, I don't know if you saw where they were trying to stop the cameraman or get the cameraman to send a signal to people, hey, stop, people are dying. He was brushing it off. Drake and Travis were brushing it off. And so I don't know what really could have been done from a city standpoint, but to your point, they should have done their homework. They should have done their homework on the type of concerts that he engages in, and then ask themselves, is this a risk that we want to take? Because people actually get hurt at his concerts. So
I'm looking at some of these comments. I'm gonna put this one up. Travis McGee say HPD were there in plain clothes too, and a month ago, HPD got involved in the Playboy Carti concert. And what he's telling y'all is that Playboy Carti was scheduled to perform somewhere, and they felt that that it was unsafe. They canceled this concert. So when Troy at 1 or 2 o'clock felt that maybe this venue may have been unsafe, calls should have been made. Calls should have been made. I mean, I just look at I look at the little things, like when you look at the report when they breached the gate, and they say, well, dozens of people breached the gate. There were no dozen of people. That was thousands of people breached the gate.
Quite a few people.
Yeah, that was thousands of people, but dozens of people. And it's like they're trying to minimalize it to a certain degree in certain areas, but I don't think, and I'm like you, I don't see him coming back from this. I think this is going to change the landscape of concerts. They still have Woodstock or whatever that is out in New York. And
Coachella in California.
Exactly. But they've done it so many times. You see what I'm saying? You don't see stuff like this happening at those events. But what you did see today is there's a big festival in Vegas and Travis got canceled.
As he should.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they should cancel the man. He shouldn't make money. I think you need to take care of your business first, and it's going to take a while to straighten out your business. But you just can't go on to the next show after this has happened. And if you did go on to the next show, that would be horrible. And of course, Live Nation, Jay-Z, and them folks, it is what it is. I mean, you got to deal with this now. I mean, you have to deal with this now.
Yeah. I see Al says security tightened up at NRG after that guy fell to his death sitting on the escalator at a Texans game. I mean, I heard about that, but again, I'm just more or less like, what could they really do if this guy is inciting mayhem? That's against the law to do that. But for whatever reason,
Did you see the video I posted earlier? Okay, well, keep talking. I'm gonna pull it up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, what can anybody really do as far as security if he is bent on having people go nuts? You know, that's his thing. And so I don't know. There's this thing called foreseeability. And anybody who is dealing with him, whether it's insurance, whether it's a venue or whoever, they should already know what they're going to get or what they may get having him, you know, perform or whatever, which is why Vegas is probably like, we good. Because now all of this stuff is coming out about his past and, you know, the things that he engaged in. So again, I don't know what security really could do with 50,000 people and all those people pushing people, you know, crushing them to death. I mean, what really could they do?
Okay. I want you to look at this. What did Travis do? I don't know if have you seen this video? Do it look like you've seen it?
I've seen so many, but I'll go ahead and play it.
Let's look at this one. Let's see what Travis could have done right about here.
I guess I'm confused as to what was going on. It was almost eerie, like a ritual or something was going on.
No, what you have is somebody being packed out of the venue.
Okay.
That either passed out or maybe they were dead at that point.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, if I'm an artist, turn the music off.
That's why I said I was confused as to what was going on. So, was he looking at that? Or, I mean, like, what was really going on? Because that's kind of creepy.
I don't think he could miss it.
Right.
And I think that might be one of the videos that do him in a courtroom. That, well, not necessarily him, but it does the case in, because they're going to try to, I'm telling you, if Harris County getting sued, trust me when I tell you, they're going to try to flip this on these people. Now, do we have a history of doing that in the city of Houston? One morning, there was a bus, and that bus carried 3 kids. And all of a sudden, that bus flew off the 610 freeway, just like the lady made a right on an overpass. The bus crashes, the 3 babies die. I know one of them mom. And the school district tried to say that the kids were at fault. When I tell you, these people that run these entities in Houston will use everything in their power to not get got. With this thing, you're looking at the 8 dead individuals. You're looking at tons of people who finna come out the closet and all of a sudden they hurt, they got mental issues, all this. And if it includes Harris County and the city of Houston, they are going to place blame somewhere else and try to get up out of there.
Yeah, but we know that's what cities do, right? It's hard to sue the government, whether it's the level or the local, state, or federal level. It's hard to sue them. But as far as I've seen, I don't know if anything else has transpired, but it doesn't. Are they suing the city?
I don't know the details. Now, I will tell y'all that I got 3 clients. I just got them. I got to talk to them after I get off the show tonight. And I can tell you now, any attorney I hook them up with, they suing everybody. They're going to sue them all. But I'm telling you that it's no way that event should have been put on with the things that were not done to secure that venue. It's no way. Like you said, at the point where they started pushing and pulling, and what could a cop do at that point? They put nothing in place to make sure that never even happened. And I'm telling you, I know that SRG team was not written into that contract. It was not written. The people that just worked the World Series were not written into that contract. And they don't have to go, they got to go through special training for it. But all you have to do is volunteer to be on that team.
So these are the people that secured the World Series at Minute Maid Park. And where was this group of highly trained police individuals when this went on that night?
I mean, yeah, obviously there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. But yeah, it's horrible. You know, when I first heard about it, I was trying to make sense of it because they were saying people had heart attacks and all that kind of stuff. And then, did you hear about how people were running around sticking people with needles? They said they were injecting people with sticking needles in them and injecting them with drugs.
I think that was the Troy Finner, the police chief, that initially brought that out. And you may think I'm crazy, but a lot of people do. I think it's deflection. I think it's deflection. I think it's taken away from what was not done and making it look like, oh, well, they were full of drugs. You knew them people going to be full of drugs before they got there. That's the type of event that you get high. Yeah, they ain't drinking no wine coolers in there. They snorting cocaine and popping pills and all this going on. How does all that get into the venue?
And I think another thing I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about is, aren't we still in a pandemic?
Yes.
So it's like,
okay,
why do you have so many people, you know, in one spot if we're supposed to be still at here? I know Texas is the wild, wild west, but you know, I just thought, wow, we're still in a pandemic and we are allowing, and this was just one night. They were going to have it the next night.
Yes. Yeah, they were going to have it the next night. And that was something that, you know, I watch a lot of things. I mean, I'm watching this pandemic thing and how these people operate, and, you know, and how they go to functions, especially the politicians. They go to functions and they don't have to wear masks, and, you know, they just do what they want to do. But an event of this magnitude, and we you know, they just lowered the threat level in Harris County to the lowest that it could go, and you didn't follow COVID protocols. I find that strange. But once again, the average new little rapper, I don't know why they do it. They walk around with hundreds of thousands of dollars on them. Say, man, if you can get to the right politician that can pull the strings for you, so you ain't got to pay all this extra money, and then if you can cover the cost of that event just straight out your pocket. You see what I'm saying? If you got that kind of money, which Travis has that kind of money, I'm not saying that he did that, but if you can cover the cost of that event straight out of your pocket, then everything else is a win. All the ticket sales, all the money from the vendors, everything. I mean, vendors even supposed to have security. Where was their security? It was not enough. It was not enough.
And I also agree with you that it is going to change the game. I know it'll change the game for me, you know, because I actually got, you know, some concerts that I'm going to attend coming up. Now, of course, they're not that of Travis Scott, but it does make you think a little bit more about your position in some of these concerts, right? Like if you're in the pit or next to the stage or whatever it is, you never know, right? And so I think, you know, like concerts like Coachella and stuff like that work is, from what I understand, they have like aisleways and exits and stuff that people can access in case something like that happens. But it doesn't sound like that was necessarily the case at NRG arenas. It sounds like people were just completely trapped. So I know definitely it's giving me something to think about.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give y'all something to think about. In about 48 hours, I'm going to show you what the backstage and the VIP looked like when it went off. And it ain't no security back there. It wasn't none back there. So where was these security people hiding at? Did they, maybe, you know what? Maybe they was in the bubble, you know, because they was on that parking lot where the bubble was. So maybe they was all in the bubble eating or whatever. But from the breach to the end, I just don't see enough security to be able to do anything. I don't feel a plan was in place. And based on 2019, you had 2 years to put a plan in place to be able to deal with this. And now the only thing we can do is, and I think he made a good gesture paying for the funerals, as well as giving everybody their money back. And I really want to talk to y'all about that, man.
Frankie Beverly and Mays ain't never charged me $250 for no ticket. And if you go to a Frankie Beverly and Mays concert, one, you got to be suited and booted. Let's get that straight. You don't just walk up in a Mays concert with your jeans toe up. But $250? Y'all got that kind of money to mess off? I don't care if you're black or white or whatever. You crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. These concert tickets are outrageous, which is partially why I don't go much. But
you're paying more for a concert ticket than you're paying for oxtails. And oxtails high as hell right now. and I'm not understanding how you youngsters, and I'm talking to you youngsters that's watching this. Man, Anthony Hamilton, Frankie Beverly and Mays, we ain't never paid that kind of money for that. Man, you understand what y'all? And then y'all just standing up. Man, if I'm paying $200, I need a table with some wine on it. Hell no, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money, man.
Yeah.
And Tasha Holden said that the highest ticket amount was $1,000 plus. I don't give a damn if Jesus was performing. You ain't finna get that kind of money out of me. Man, what you could have did is put your Apple Music on. You already pay $8.99 a month for it.
Yeah, especially to endure something like that. You know, I just feel like it's horrible because people don't normally go to concerts and think they're going to die. You know what I mean? Or even be injured. And like, you know, to your point of Frankie Beverly, you would never see that atmosphere at an Anita Baker concert or anybody else's, you know? And so it's like, I don't know. I would be very leery of even taking my child to something like that. But to your point about the money, and somebody said the tickets are like $1,000 on the highest. A lot of his audience seem to be that of Caucasian and, you know, others. He has black fans as well, but it seems like a lot of his fans are white. So I don't know, maybe that's where they're getting the means to do that, but nah, not me.
Well, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Last week we had an election, and kudos to everybody that ran, especially the newcomers. Takes a lot to want to run for public office. You have to deal with a lot of ridicule, a lot of games that were being played. People were cutting my signs down, moving my yard signs from the poles. So I want to thank y'all. But now you have 4 races that are in a runoff. And I'm going to brief you real quick. So I just want your opinion. Mm-hmm. The 4 people that are incumbent, Elizabeth Santos, Holly Villaseca, Ann Sung, and Sue Dygard, minus Sue Dygard, participated in a coup one night at a HISD school board meeting where they unceremoniously fired the African-American superintendent, Grenita Lathan, in a live board meeting and tried to bring back in a superintendent who had got caught up in corruption, and they paid him to leave, Abe Sabedra. Now, in order to get Grenita back into the seat, black politicians got together, and I did my thing on my level. They did their thing on their level. We put pressure on them, and 3 days later, they rehired Grenita. This is my question to you. How would you feel knowing that those same black politicians that went to war because we felt what they did was racist, and it was, in the manner in which they did it, how do you feel knowing that these same black politicians are now supporting the incumbents who did the racist act?
Well, Gary, you know as well as I do, you know, we talked about the white envelope, you know, quite a bit back in the day. And a lot of people get the white envelope. And so a lot of people also say, oh, they sold out. They didn't sell out. They bought in.
Exactly.
So follow the
money. Like in my race, I ended up with a Latino guy, Joshua Rosales. And I know exactly who put him in the race. It was a high-level black politician that put a Latino in a race with 2 African Americans. And the sickening part about it is I can live with the L. The question is can the city of Houston live with it? Because if these people win these races, they're going to decimate public education. It's already planned. Lady that runs the bus driver union, Retha Thomas, I cursed her out at the polls because, you know, you jump and fly, but baby, you just as dirty as everybody else. And like you say, they bought in. So these same black politicians are now supporting the people that did the black woman wrong and gave her pure hell for 3 years until she just got fed up and she left. And I will say that now she's in Springfield, Missouri, blowing it out the water. And we down here in Houston struggling as normal.
Yeah, well, again, I mean, like I said, you know how it works. I hate to say this, well, maybe I don't because it's not a secret. But a lot of black politicians have failed black people. And we know that a lot of black politicians, they are in it for themselves. They're from local level all the way up to the federal level. They're in it for themselves and they don't care about their people. The proof is if they cared about their people, then like you said, you know, there would be less black schools closed. Education for black people would be better. Black neighborhoods would be better. Everything would be better for black people. Even if you go up to the federal level, the Congressional Black Caucus, they don't advocate for black people at all. How is it that they can, in good faith, listen to Joe Biden talk about he's entertaining giving illegal aliens $450,000 a piece for being separated at the border for being over here illegally, and they ain't raising the roof?
I don't think they understand the magnitude of what Joe was trying to do.
Oh no, they understand. It's that white envelope. Mm-hmm. They don't care about the rest of us as long as they get their pie in the sky and they, you know, all that they want. They don't care about the rest of us. But we talk about this all the time. We don't care about the rest of us. Why are they still there?
Don't it amaze you and Donovan that right now us three look like prophets when we kept telling them not to vote for Joe? We already told you what he was going to do.
And the other thing is crickets. Where are these people at? Where are did they get sucked up? Did Scotty beam them up? The Bermuda Triangle? What happened to these people who would even often come on this show and, oh, you're wrong. Oh, Joe Biden, and you guys are just haters. It's like they've disappeared. It's like, no. Stand 10 toes down on the decision that you made for the rest of us. To have this man in the White House who is more than thumbing his nose. He is showing black people his behind. And I think he's doing it on purpose. Like, okay, let me see how far I can go with these Negroes and give illegal aliens $450,000 a piece. It's 600 of them supposedly. $450,000 a piece. And I told these Negroes, I'm not interested in giving you reparations, but I'm going to give them some money.
You know what really angered me about it? It wasn't the amount. It was the reason why. Because we separated them from their families.
You see how mad he was about it? He was angry. He was angry that they asked him, why are they getting this money? He's like, those people were separated from their children. Okay. And it's like, wow. Well, what about black people that was separated from slavery? What about black people that was separated under his crime bills? What about the black people that are still separated, that's doing a 25 to life bid over his mandatory minimums due to those crime bills that he was so proud of? But he won't mention that. And the Congressional Black Caucus won't put a foot to his backside and say, hey, you need to do my people right. And so that's why I said it's not just local black politicians. It's black politicians all over the spectrum that really don't care about black people, because believe it or not, and I know you see it, there's still black people that defend Joe Biden. There's still a Negro somewhere talking about, oh, give him a chance. He ain't been in office long and just wait and see. It's like, what you waiting to see? Even Ray Charles could see he ain't gonna do nothing for black people.
Well, you named some good things when it comes to separating black families. But you forgot the name. They used the welfare system to separate us. And now you're using CPS to separate our families. So that's the thing that really angered me the most, is your excuse as to why you're separating them. After being cheated in the election, which I can take, after watching Joe do what he do, man, I'm done. Across the board, I said if they got it right, I would come back to the Democratic Party. I'm never coming back. I don't want nothing to do with these people, man. If us three, Demetri K, Donovan, and Gary Monroe, sat here and told you that Joe was going to do this type of stuff to you, and you still go out there and vote for him, I think Donovan said we had about 10 years left. Some of y'all need to figure out what's your wrist size, because you're going to be back in chains dealing with the likes of the Democratic Party. Now, Demetri, she's whatever she is, whether she's Democrat, Republican, Independent. Donovan, Democrat, Republican, Independent. Gary Monroe, a Republican.
Well,
I'm playing with him.
I will say this. I'm an independent, or actually I'm not even independent. I guess it's the same thing, but I'm nonpartisan. I don't belong anywhere. I want people to earn my vote. But I said this on my show, and I'm going to say this here, that if Trump comes back, and I don't care if y'all get mad, if Trump comes back, I'm going to vote for him. You know why I'm going to vote for him? For one, I'm going to vote for him despite the Negroes that keep on voting for oppression for the rest of us. And I'm going to vote for him because we weren't bad off like we are now under Trump. And I don't care what you say. And so I ain't going to get no MAGA yard sign now. I ain't going to get no MAGA hat. But if he comes back, I'm going to vote for him. Because you know what Trump asked us when he was running? My African Americans, what do you have to lose? And now we see what we have to lose. You got a president that y'all strolled to the polls and y'all electric slided all over the place, and you know, had fish dinners with him, all of that, and he has done nothing specifically for black people. And then somebody will be mad at me for saying I'm gonna vote for Trump, but what you mad at me for? Joe ain't did nothing for me either. So what's the difference?
I think that there should be an Amber Alert put out. Where in the hell is Miss Chucks and Pearls? That one there just escaped the plantation and she didn't kept on running. She hanging with Kunta right now. She
wasn't cut for the job, and we already knew that Kamala was not cut out for the job. You know how they battle tested her? They battle tested her when they sent her to the border, and she couldn't, get the job done, because at first they got rid of all of Trump's immigration stuff. And then when they saw the influx of people coming in, they sent her to the border and say, don't come here. Don't come here. And then when she had that interview, I can't remember who it was. His name slips my mind. He asked her, whoa, are you going to the southern border? Like, what's really going on? And she goes, well, I haven't been to Europe either. So it's like, is that how a dignitary is supposed to respond? Just say you don't know, sis. But they didn't like that. And so they got her probably in the kitchen somewhere, making sure the staff don't run off with too many butter biscuits. But Kamala dropped the ball. She also is who we thought she was, a bunch of fluff. And you know why? I'm trying not to cuss because, I'm working on myself. But her alma mater of Howard University, the students are dealing with rats, roaches, mold, you name it. They are camping outside of the yard. They are in the yard because they cannot live in their dorms. Do you think she said something about that? Do you think she went to the president of the university or even her homie Biden and say, hey, I know you cut $53 billion from the HBCU budget, but you need to go on and fix that situation for my school? Kamala ain't said a word, but she used all those Negroes, the Divine Nine, and all of them to get her behind in the White House, and she ain't said nothing about their situation.
I think you just shocked a few people. How much did he cut from HBCUs?
$53 billion. It was originally $55 billion, and
But didn't Trump give money to HBCUs?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So they cut 53 billion because they're trying to get the infrastructure plan passed, and that was one of the sacrifices. Now, also with that 55 billion that was supposed to go to HBCUs, it also included indigenous, people, institutions, and things like that. So it wasn't solely for HBCUs, but that's that minority, that's that diversity, that's that people of color thing that we always throw around. But yeah, so they put about $2 billion toward, higher education. And like I said, Kamala ain't nowhere to be seen with her alma mater living like that. And that cost those students, I think, $7,000 or something like that a semester just to go there. So it's not cheap.
Well, in 2022, I think your ideologies, Donovan, mines are still the same. The Republicans are going to decimate them. It started in Virginia the other night. They are going to decimate them. And it's not going to even be close. They're going to take the House. They're going to take the Senate. They back in power. Joe will be powerless, and then they can run around and lie for the next 2 years and act like Joe is the one that stopped him from doing anything they needed to do. But I was just amazed that Miss Chucks and Pearls is nowhere to be found right now. Nowhere to be found.
That's by design. They don't want Kamala out there anymore. Kamala is, she's not, she was used to, they had her run around talking about, I like put hot sauce on my greens, and you know what I'm saying, Fife, and all of that other stuff, running around in Chucks and Pearls and Timberlands, and they had her doing all of that stuff. They use her to get Black people, and they did her like they do all Black people. All right, next, go sit down, Kamala. Go sit in the corner until we need you.
Well, I'm gonna jump on your train. If old Trump come back, he got the OG vote. Because like you said, we were not this bad off. Where y'all stimulus money? When Trump was in there, you were getting stimulus money. Joe in there, what you got?
Well, what we got is him giving money to the Afghans, that he's setting them up nicely, flew them over here, and giving them all kind of programs, and he's entertaining, giving illegal people, immigrants who were separated at the border, all of this money. But you got people who are getting kicked out of their homes. You got the homeless population ballooning out of control. You got people who can't even put gas in their car. I know people in California talk about gas in some places is $6 a gallon. So that's what the American people are getting, but he's advocating for everybody else. But Black people, and it ain't just me and you and Donovan who's talking about voting for Trump. I've spoken to a lot of people who says that if Trump runs again, he has my vote because I'm tired of what we've been getting from the Democratic Party. And somebody will say, well, what about the Republicans? We know what the Republicans are doing, but at least with the Republicans, you are able to have free enterprise, right? You can, do what you want to do as far as starting businesses. A lot of Black people started businesses under Trump, but you got Biden and his administration. He want to dig all off into your bank account. And if you get more than $600 in, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, and all of that, he want that to be reported to the IRS to make sure you ain't cheating the government, but he giving money away to people who shouldn't even be here.
Now, I really do agree with you on, they letting all these people come over here on the borders, and yet we have a homeless situation that's ridiculous. And we're not taking care of home first. And that bugs the hell out of me to see these people out here homeless when they could do something for them and they won't even do it. We continuously pay money to victims of whatever. And look like they all come from other countries. It is what it is, man, no matter what nobody thinks. But I'm on the train with you and I'm not getting off. If Trump runs, I'm voting Trump. And to really hit y'all in the mouth in Harris County, I'm starting a brand new political PAC. Black Conservative PAC. It's a new Black Conservative PAC designed to help those that want to convert to come on over, man. Because if you start doing the research, you're concerned. If you just want to be in a party, you don't have to be in one. But if your values are what I think they are, they line up a little conservative. They line up more conservative than anything. And the one thing that I like about the Republican Party. When their politicians are not performing, they get rid of them.
ASAP.
They don't play any games. Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick, they got something waiting on y'all, bro. But us, we'll keep them in office until they Miss Jane Pittman age.
And Mr. Phillips, how you doing? You say, do you guys think that Joe is the last straw to change the black vote to Republican? I think he's pretty close to the last straw because, like I said, I have talked to some pretty staunch Democrats who have said enough is enough. You know, I'm a believer now. I was duped. And so, yes, I understand now that voting is transactional, that I should get something for my vote. It's not a one-way thing, you know, and the Democrats for too long have, you know, misused and abused black people. So, yeah, I think that could be close to the last straw, but I'm with you, Gary. I think especially the 2022 midterm elections, some things are going to really flip over. I mean, look what they did in Virginia.
Exactly.
It got rid of him.
I mean, look at what we're doing tonight. I mean, look at what I'm doing tonight. Kenitra Walker, I'm coming to the pack. People tired, man. They tired. And you know, when you think about it, just in Houston, you finally got the opportunity last week to go through 3rd Ward, Texas. What you think? Hold on, before you do it. That's controlled by Rodney Ellis, Boris Miles, Sheila Jackson Lee. What you think?
You know,
I can take it.
No, I'm not gonna be mean. I'm not gonna be mean. I'm trying to give my very honest reaction, okay? And no disrespect. I really know. I felt like I was in a version of The Walking Dead. From the people to the infrastructure, just to everything there, right? It was just so left behind. And Gary, when I hear you talk about Jack Yates High School, I see something of, you know, grandeur. Something is huge in lights and just in the great neighborhood. And I actually just caught it out the corner of my eye. And I was like, oh, that's Jack Yates. It wasn't what I expected because it's surrounded by just, and forgive me, but misery. And I can't remember the street. Okay, so I'll tell you where I was at. I guess it was TSU.
Yeah.
So I drive down the street, and Jack Yates is on the right. And then I made a left on that main street, whatever street that was. It was a main street. I can't remember what it was. So as I'm driving, I'm seeing buildings that are dilapidated and, you know, some stores here and there and houses that were just like, wow, people living there type of thing. And then as I kept driving, guess what I saw? Gentrification. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people in not just the 3rd Ward, but a lot of black neighborhoods, I don't think we really realize that gentrification is spreading like wildfire. And eventually it's going to start to take over everything. And then there'll be nothing left for black people to have. And so the fact that you said those people are in charge of the 3rd Ward, did they leave that part behind? Because I'm sure where they live in the 3rd Ward doesn't look like that. But no. Again, that's indicative of black leadership. They don't care.
Only reason they rebuilt the school, and people should be aware, is that they were gentrifying the neighborhood. So they had to make sure they had something decent for the new white neighbors that would move in. That's the only reason they did it. Look at all the schools. Look at all the schools that they redid, the Booker T's, the Yateses, the Wheatleys. They're gentrifying their neighborhoods. So, and I don't have a problem with white people moving in. They got a right to move anywhere they want to move to. You see what I'm saying? But what we have to do is start looking, and we've been saying it since I met y'all. Our representation is garbage. It's just flat out garbage. Well, I ain't got that representation no more because I'm on the other side. I'm on the side with the little elephant. I ain't on the side. And it's just so amazing that the Democratic Party's little mascot is a donkey. It's just so amazing because a whole bunch of these jackasses is just running wild, kicking y'all in y'all teeth, and y'all ain't saying nothing.
We are used to it. we're used to the abuse. You know, it's the Stockholm syndrome. We're just used to it. And we are so used to it as Black people, we don't even realize that it's abuse. We just think it's normal to go give your vote and get nothing for it. You know, and I know a lot of those people are up for re-election the next time around, and they're going to say the same stuff. Oh, we going to work together. Oh, we going to make sure this. Oh, we going to do that. And then once they get the vote, they're going to go back off doing for white people.
Well, you know, they going to get the vote because it's that time of the year. You know, right now we're getting to what they call Black Friday. So that's Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So I need y'all to figure out what line you're going to stand in because they finna get your vote because they got your turkey ready for you. They got your turkey ready. This is all they using to get their votes. Turkeys. I'm telling you, I sat through some school board forums with some people, and Donovan was watching one night. And he just said, I was head and shoulders above all them people. Say, man, these people don't know nothing. They don't care to learn nothing. They do exactly what the powers that be tell them to do. And they are not going to do anything. Like Travis, he did a good thing. He went to school to start a garden. He also went and he redid some basketball courts in our community. My question is I appreciate it, but those are city and county basketball courts. Our tax money already said you should have fixed them. You would never let those courts look like that in the white community. You wouldn't allow that to happen. So I challenge everybody, since you want to be so pro-Democrat, and that's your business, but I'm going to tear y'all asses up in this 2022. I'm telling you, when you come with that Democratic foolishness, I'm going to tear your ass up for a reason.
But what really...
When you going to wake up and see what these people are doing to you? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, but what really can they say to convince people at this point? And I know that some people gonna vote for the vote blue no matter who. I know it's that crowd, but what really could they say to people to convince us to continue voting for them at this point? We've seen that you're not a person of your word. You're not going to honor anything you said you're going to do. So what really can they say that's going to get us to say, okay, one more time, I'm gonna do it one more time, you know? And Donovan always makes a good point that a lot of our Black leadership, a lot of them aren't even baby boomers. They're from the silent generation, which is before the baby boomers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so no shade to anybody that is from either generation, but we need new blood. We need new ideas in there, you know? And we talk about this a lot, Donovan and I, like our age group should be in there. But by the time the silent generation and the baby boomers get out of there, it's going to be time for the generation beneath us, or after us, I should say, to do it. But they're not going to be interested. They probably won't have the experience because they've just been robbed of the opportunity. Like, my God, why do you want to hold on to a seat that long?
But they're losing the Black vote. But that's the reason they keeping our borders open. That's the reason they want to give $450,000 to some immigrants so they can remind them, we gave you this money, now we need your vote. Now, all the lies that were told about voter suppression, I was at the polls for 2 weeks. I was out there for 2 weeks, and then I was out there for election day. There were no lines. Nobody attacked you inside of the building and looked over your shoulder and how you were voting. You see what I'm saying? All the stuff that they lied about never happened at the polls. It never happened. Now in 2022, this primary, it's going to be a lot of people voting. But I hope y'all do your research and you vote for the right people. Because just like what you said, I got some young guns ready to go. And you old folk that sit in office, they coming to take your seats. And if they don't take them, they're going to use the blueprint that I've created, which is a grassroots approach, and they're going to give you hell the whole election cycle. So you can get ready for it. But we got to get these people out of office, get us some new blood in there so that we can move this needle, man. We're so far behind as a people that it's really scary. And I don't think there's nothing, if anybody got the common sense that they mom and dad gave them, and God included, there's nothing these people can tell you to make you vote for Joe Biden. Nothing. Joe Biden ain't did nothing. So if Joe ain't did nothing, the people you put in office to hold them accountable ain't did nothing either. So why would you continue? And that's on the other side of the ball too. If they've not done their jobs, then why would we allow them to keep them?
Yeah, I mean, most people wouldn't hire somebody to come do a job at their house and they don't do the job. You'd fire them immediately. You wouldn't say, well, okay, I'm going to keep paying you even though you ain't did what you supposed to do. Come back tomorrow and do more of nothing. No, you going to fire them. So why would you keep hiring politicians that don't do anything for you like they're supposed to? We got it so backwards. The politicians are supposed to be serving the people. It's not supposed to be the other way around. They're supposed to get in there and get things done for the constituents, but they don't do that. They don't. And so that's why I said, I'm done trying to appeal to those people. I'm going to do my best and I'm going to vote for Trump. And that way, yeah, Trump will get in there and he probably will do, less of nothing for black people too, but hell, I'd rather have Trump in there than somebody like Biden who was just like, y'all black people can kiss my behind. I'd rather have Trump in there.
I can tell you how the conversation gonna go for me because they constantly call me, man, you need to tone it down a bit. And they're gonna call and, man, y'all going a little bit too hard. And I'm gonna have a Cedric the Entertainer barbershop moment when I get that call or when they run up on me. And what do you mean by that, Mr. Monroe? Nigga, please. I'm not voting for this dude. I'm trying to get everybody and their mama not to vote for him. Because at least with Trump in there, he's gonna do something. He's gonna do something. He'll come back and just do something just to say, I did it for y'all.
And listen, see, how you doing, Mr. Reggie Phillips? How you doing? You said that's some dumb. You say that's some dumb-ish voting for Trump. Okay, well, if you don't mind me asking, is it smart that because I'm assuming you're a Biden voter, was it smart for you to vote for Biden and he's done nothing specifically for black people, but he's done everything, and a lot of things I should say for other people. Do you think that's smart to vote for somebody who stood his, narrow self up there and said, you black people stood by me and I'm going to stand by you. And then as soon as he gets in office, he does none of the above. Do you think that's smart to just give your vote away to somebody who won't even acknowledge you, won't even let you forget getting a seat at the table? He won't even let you through the back door. But, oh, Lord Jesus, Gary, I've been working on myself, but I feel myself coming unglued. I ain't going to come unglued. I'm going to be as nice as I can. And so, Mr. Phillips, it's a Negro like you that has the rest of us oppressed. You are helping white supremacy oppress the rest of us because you are in love with Massa. You are in love with Massa Joe. You are in love with the Democratic Party that ain't in love with you. And so you're one of those people that are going to get on every platform you have and go talk to everybody you know and try to dangle Trump, the boogeyman, in front of him. Oh, Trump is a bad man. Trump is the boogeyman. Oh, Lord Jesus. We got to do everything we can to make sure Trump don't get back in there. I don't care what we do. Vote blue no matter who. It's people like you that is stopping other black people from progressing. It's people like you partially why black people are laughing stock because you can't even defend why you would continue to vote for somebody who has slapped you on both cheeks. You can't even defend it. I want you to get in here in this comment section and give me one reason why we as black people should vote for Biden without mentioning Trump's name. I bet you can't do it.
Reggie, I'm going to tell you this here. I've been called a lot of things in my life, especially when I started
being an advocate and an activist. I've been called a stupid nigga and all kinds of stuff. But I think 10 years later, you can probably call me the best in the state of Texas at what I do. I know that for a fact based on the number of phone calls I done got since the election was over. 62 phone calls from parents that willing to pay me 62 times because of a system that's all messed up. Now, I want to know, why should I vote for him when on election day, it was black Democratic politicians that ganged up on me and cheated in my election? That wasn't the Republicans that did that. That was black folk that did that. But I ain't going to say nothing till Wednesday, Demetri. I ain't going to say nothing till Wednesday because karma's a bitch. That was black people did that. Black Democrats. But my question is, why should I vote for him? I didn't vote for him the first time. And I'm not going to be stupid and vote for him this time. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And to get something clarified, a lot of people on this program donated to my campaign. You saw where your money went because I wasn't shy about spending it on what we needed. And it was a nice chunk. You feel me? But the bulk of my money came from good Republican people that just wanted me to get in office with the possibility of cleaning that thing up. They didn't give me money saying, well, I'm going to give you this and I want you to do. Nah, it wasn't like that. We believe that you will get that thing cleaned up. So if I'm going to be in a party that doesn't support me, then why do I need to stay in this party? Why do I need to keep voting for these people that don't give a damn about me? They don't care. I've had one politician call me since the election, but I expected that call. You see what I'm saying? One Democratic politician, but I expected that call. And it is what it is. Let me read John Williams' comment.
I just saw that.
You both got to be kidding, right? I voted for Biden, but I also take personal responsibility for changing my community and changing the mindset of how we teach each other and how we stand up for each other for change, regardless of party affiliation. Okay, so regardless of party affiliation, it doesn't matter if I'm a Republican. And that's what I'm gonna be. But I know I'm not finna keep doing this. I'm not gonna keep doing it. I don't care what nobody say.
His whole statement to me is an oxymoron. How do you stand up for change in your community, but you keep on voting for the same old oppression? How did that don't even make any sense? But see, John, I'm sure you're a very nice man, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but like, we gotta stop trying to be the smartest Negro in the comment section, because your comment really didn't make any sense. If you really trying to change the mindset of black people, you would tell them to stop voting for people who ain't doing nothing for them. That's what you would be spending your time doing. But I don't know if you'll vote for Biden again. You probably will. But again, I challenge you Democrats out there who are staunch Biden supporters. Tell us why we should vote for Biden without mentioning Trump's name. Tell us why. You can't do it. You keep wanting to sell black people oppression for what? Massa Biden ain't gonna do nothing for us. Massa Trump ain't gonna do nothing for us. But I know Trump ain't gonna do that. Trump ain't gonna sit up there and lie like Biden has lied. The Democrats are completely lied to black people over and over and over again. And we are the most loyal to the Democrats, but yet we get nothing for it. And so you can't change the mindset of your people and you keep telling them to do the same thing. That's an oxymoron, brother.
What's the president that took Lyndon B. Johnson? Lyndon B. Johnson made one of the realest comments that ever been made. If I get these niggas to vote Democrat, I'll have them voting Democrat for the next 200 years. He wasn't wrong.
And you say, look at what happened with Trump on January 6th, and you stand for that. That is why you shouldn't vote for Trump. I would vote for an independent before I vote for Trump. Well, look what Joe Biden has done to black people since he's been in office. He brags about being the author of every major and minor crime bill since 1976. We got black people in jail for stealing pizza, for 25 to life under those mandatory minimums that your president has put into action, has tied the hands of judges that couldn't give them lesser sentences due to Joe Biden. And you mad about a day? At least those white people, I don't like the insurrection, but at least those white people stood together and they thought they were doing something to get a common goal. But us as black people, we don't stand on the same page. We got so many schisms trying to figure out, well, what master is the better one to serve? But y'all mad about a day? But you ain't mad about a 50-year history of what that man in the White House has done to black people? How do you even have the audacity to make the comparison?
I tell you this, I've already said for years, if you believe in something, you should stand up for it. Am I right to say that them people was wrong on what happened January 6th? In my mind, I already know how I feel about January 6th. But you know what? Like you just said, they got together. See, they showed you something we don't do. We ain't getting together unless it's for a trail ride. And then y'all start shooting the Zydeco artists at the motherfucking trail rides. We don't get together for nothing. They got together. And they did what they needed to do. That's just like right now with the school boards all across the country. These people are standing firm. But you know what? How can you complain about, oh, look at what they doing at a school board meeting? Yeah, it's 400 of them and there ain't but 3 of us. And they screwing our kids more than they screwing anybody. But we ain't going to stand up for what's right. We ain't going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're just going to go along to get along. And honestly, that's saying where I would rather die on my back than to live on my knees. You Negroes are on your knees right now. They got you begging for everything that they give you. They're treating you like crackheads. Every now and then they spoon feed you a little bit more food stamps. Or every now and then they slip you in a stimulus. And that's cool for some of y'all. And some of y'all on here running your mouth. You're in a whole different tax bracket. You don't even live this struggle. You don't go through what we go through. So stop acting like there's a reason that I should vote, like anybody that's in my position or Demetrius' position, that we should vote for Biden. I'm not caping for this sucker, man. I'm not promoting this sucker, man. When you can tell me why you comfortable with him giving $450,000, even insinuating giving $450,000 to some illegal aliens, when every one of us that's black on this program, somewhere in our bloodline, our family was separated. And you comfortable with that? See, words are like bullets. Once you shoot them, you can't take them back. If it was left up to him, all them illegals would have got that money. And you wouldn't have got nothing. Which, that's the normal day for us. We don't get nothing anyway. We don't get nothing out the deal anyway. So guess what I'm finna do? I'm finna wake up as many black people as I can wake up. If I can't wake up but 10, that's 10 less than they got to vote for his ass. I'm just telling you where I'm at with it. And it is what it is. My man Jeffrey Chenier say he voting for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Is he running?
We can always write him in. We can always write him in. But I don't give a damn if Joe Biden was the only one on the goddamn ticket. I wouldn't vote for him. It's not going to happen. I'll down ballot. I'm not voting for that dude. And if I'm voting for Biden, I got to vote for Kamala. Where has this Negro been?
I told you she's manning the butter biscuits, making sure the kitchen staff don't get too many. They got her in the kitchen.
John said, why is that, Gary Monroe? I'm ready to work with anyone for change, regardless of party affiliation. Vote for who you want, but the work is what I want to be about. Well, get to work. Get to work. What you're gonna have to do, you ain't gonna get it done by yourself. You have to get some people to buy into what you're doing. And if we are waiting for black people to show up for this brand new independent party, that ain't finna happen no time soon.
So right now we kind of stuck in our skin. So you either vote for Biden or Trump or whoever runs against Biden, or you vote independent or you don't vote. I'm telling you straight up, Trump will get my vote. And that's what it is. I don't give a damn if you get mad.
Oh, they'll try to get mad. They'll try to shame you and shun you. And like I said, I'm not, voting for Trump because I love the dude. I'm doing it to spite you Negroes that continuously, big up in the Democrats who do nothing for us. That's really why I'm doing it, because y'all did it to us. And that's probably a little petty. But also, I really believe another Trump presidency is going to wake Black people up. I really believe that. I really believe we're going to one day, because what the Democrats do, they dangle the carrot in front of Black people. Oh, just keep hope alive. Oh, hope and change. Follow the bouncing ball. And we keep doing it and won't get anything. Well, you guys say the Democrats don't like Black people and they won't do nothing for us. Let's say that's true. Now we have an opportunity to stand on our own 2 feet and do for self, as so many, all the way back to Marcus Garvey, has asked Black people to do. Stop being dependent upon people who don't want you really to depend on it. They want us to depend on it, but they're not going to do anything for us. And so I'm excited about a Trump presidency because I really believe it will really force open the eyes of sleep Negroes.
Well, Trump kept us on our toes. He kept you on your toes. You had to get off your behind. Ain't nothing wrong with getting up, going to work. Ain't nothing wrong with saving your money and investing. You see what I'm saying? Some of y'all made so much money during the pandemic, it was unreal. You see what I'm saying? Come on, let's be honest. I know several new entrepreneurs that were created through the pandemic. All of this stuff forced you to get off your hands and do what you needed to do as men and women. That's what it forced you to do. But it's no way I'm going to vote for him. It's not going to happen. Reggie say that's the reason for voting for him, because he kept me on my toes. What, Reggie, you in a different tax bracket. Cut it out, Reggie. Cut it out, Reggie. I bet you use them loopholes in the tax laws that Trump put in there for you when it's time to file them taxes, Mr. Millionaire. I bet you that. I love you to death. My brother, we might argue and differ on different levels, but them same tax laws that Trump got away with, I bet y'all using them.
But do you see how he is in a different tax bracket, but he's advocating misery for everybody else but himself? You could talk like that. You walking tall and talking tough when you're in a different tax bracket, but when you're not actually living like that, I'm not saying you've never lived like that, but if you ain't living like that now, who are you to tell other Black people to continue voting for misery? Who are you to do that?
He said, Monroe, no one would get mad at you for voting for Trump. That's your right. I think Trump is a racist, a narcissist, and an asshole that don't deserve my vote. Vote on, brother. And let me tell you this here. He might be all of that, but he's an open racist, narcissist, and asshole. Joe Biden is a quiet one. He's a closet racist who was mentored by a grand wizard of the KKK. So here's my question to y'all. Was Trump mentored by a grand wizard? Maybe that's why it was so easy for him to do something for us. Joe ain't did nothing. And in the immortal words, and you ain't heard it in a long time, Joe ain't did a goddamn thing. Joe ain't did nothing. So I'm on a mission to convert. I'm on a mission to wake folks up, to get folks to just wake up, man. And if they want those votes, they need to show us what they've done for us. They got 2 years to pull it off. But in 2022, they're going to get decimated and they won't be able to do that again. They won't be able to pull it off at all. They had 2 years to do it.
And Mr. Phillips, please don't, and I don't think you think this, but I'll just in case you do, please don't believe that racism came about because Trump got into office. America is racism. And it's been that since, or at least since we've been over here. So That's another thing they try to do. They try to freak black people out. Oh, Trump made the racists come out. Oh, it's because of Trump. Racists are running around. Nah, they've been doing that. Did he embolden them? Yeah, I would concede that. But Trump didn't invent racism. He didn't, and especially all the people up in the media and stuff that advocate against him. Your Al Sharptons, your Jesse Jacksons, all those people. Oh, they love it. Some Trump. You can see a whole bunch of pictures with them all booed up together. And so y'all mean to tell me they just now figuring out he's a racist? If he's a racist, and I'm not saying he's not, why didn't they know that? Why didn't they know that until he got into the White House and became, bigger Democratic operatives?
John William has a question. I guess it's for both of us. What happens if you're wrong with convincing others to vote for Trump and it gets worse than ever? Will you be okay with that? I can answer that with a question and then I'll give it to Dimitri. Is it worse with Biden?
And
I think we're worse off with Biden right now than we were with Trump.
And I want to know worse in comparison to what? Worse than it already is now. Like, I'm confused. Like, but again, that's those talking points. If Trump gets into office, it's going to get worse. Like, worse compared to what? Worse compared to what we're already going through? What happened to the student loan forgiveness? And I know, John, and, Mr. Phillips, y'all heard Biden say that he was going to do some sort of student loan forgiveness. What happened to that? Y'all just, and what happened to y'all big time Biden supporters? Well, we going to hold him accountable once he get in office. We going to make sure he do this and we going to do that. We going to hold him accountable. What happened to all of that?
That's the thing right there. What happened to y'all holding this dude accountable, man? First, you let him get away with the Asian crime bill. Now you want to give $450,000 to some people that speak or no English, and now we got to take care of them while he's trying to figure out how much he's gonna give them. But the point is, how much worse can it get? It's gotten worse since Joe took office. And nobody wants to. You know why you don't want to admit it? Because that would make us feel like we were right.
And I want to ask him, are you okay with, and I'm assuming you voted for Biden. Are you okay with what's going on because of your vote for Biden? Are you okay with that? I'm just curious. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with the state of America under Biden? Are you okay with that?
There's a difference of opinion, especially with the media and social media. They get on there and call Trump all kind of shit. And somebody say, "Let's go, Brandon." They want to cancel. They want to cancel. Y'all didn't PC this much for Obama. He got called monkeys and everything. Y'all didn't go to war for him like y'all going to war for Joe.
Okay, but listen. So, John, you say my question has not been answered, but I asked the question. I do hold what Biden is doing accountable, and I'm not okay with that. Can I ask you, how are you holding Biden accountable? How are you doing that?
What's the blueprint to that?
But he wants to answer, will I be okay with that? I will be okay with that. I'm one of those people. I'm methodical in my thinking. I rarely just do things that are willy-nilly. So I would be okay with convincing people, especially Black people, because that'll help swing the vote. I'm okay with convincing them to vote for Trump because my reasoning is sound. I'm not just going off of emotion. Oh, I'm gonna vote red if I'm dead. Like y'all be talking about, I'm gonna vote blue. No, I'm not on that kind of stuff. I impress upon people, look at what we got now, which is nothing. But look at what Black people are going through under Biden, which is hell. We've always been going through hell, but Biden is not apologetic about standing up there and just completely ignoring Black people. And what happened to meeting with Ice Cube? Y'all remember how y'all dragged Ice Cube from one end of the country to the next? Then the Biden administration talking about we gonna meet with him after we get in the office. Did that meeting take place?
Nope.
But you know who didn't meet with Ice Cube? Trump met with Ice Cube. He met with Ice Cube, but Biden didn't. So yes, I would be okay with that. But now answer my question. Are you okay with what you've done with your vote to Black people for getting Biden in the office? Are you okay with that? And then how are you going to hold that man accountable? Answer those two questions.
I don't think there's realistically a way that they can say they held him accountable, because his actions say that they haven't.
They can't even hold the local dog catcher accountable in their neighborhood, let alone Biden. Biden sat up there and told all those Black people sitting in that meeting when that hot tape got out behind him saying, you guys got to work with the Hispanics and I'm in charge now. And I'm paraphrasing, but you know, he pretty much told them to shut up. You ain't got no power here. So how the hell you going to hold Biden accountable and you can't even hold your city council accountable? How?
They need to hold these Texas legislators accountable on the Democratic side. And I'm going to tell you why. They got played during the session. Y'all crying about a gun bill, right? They said the gun bill got passed and that would decimate our communities and blah, 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 blah. Then they come up with the voter suppression bill. When the voter suppression bill comes up, they walk out, they get on a plane, they go to DC. Y'all got played. You know how you got played? Because the gun bill was first. So if you'd have walked out on the gun bill, you'd have walked out on the voter suppression bill. But they went behind closed doors and they cut the deal on the gun bill. And that's how it was able to pass the Texas House and end up on the governor's desk. So why don't you ask your legislators why they allowed that to happen and they did not walk out on that gun bill, which they'd have walked out on those other bills. But at the end of the day, they had to come back. We kept telling y'all they was coming back because they didn't have the majority and they couldn't hide out in Washington forever. You get paid to do a job. Bring your behind back here and learn how to finesse the game. And that's the problem. You got too many of them people down there that don't know what the hell they doing. And they don't know how to work both sides of the house. So we getting got on the state level, we getting got on the local level, the state level, and the federal level. Where your George Floyd bill on the federal level? Where your John Lewis voting rights bill on the federal level? Why is the Congressional Black Caucus not raising hell right now? Why they didn't raise no hell when Biden wanted to get them illegal immigrants 450,000? You better go do your homework. You better go do your homework because you're getting got every day.
And why are the Democrats so passive when it comes to holding Trump accountable for the insurrection? Why are they so blasé about it? I mean, they control everything. There's things they can do if they really were interested in holding Trump accountable for the insurrection. They could do it. But that's y'all Democrats that are in control, and they do that to keep y'all, hopeful that something's gonna happen. That's a distraction if you guys haven't realized that. Well, keep our base thinking that we gonna do something to Trump, for the insurrection, and they're not. They want y'all to think that they're gonna continue. That we own the case. We gonna do something about it. Y'all remember when Auntie Maxine was on she was the chair of the finance committee. She was gonna dig all off in Trump's financial business, and she was gonna hold them accountable. She ain't did none of the above. You know why? She not interested. Because they all making the same thing, and that's green money.
You know what's crazy? During the school board election, I had to educate somebody at the poll. And they're like, what are you, Republican or Democrat? I say, it really don't matter. This is a nonpartisan race. So it's not really about Republican or Democrat. But the Republicans, hold on a second, man. 90% of your school board has been Democratic. So all the foolishness and all the chaos was caused by your people. This was an older man was like, are you sure? No, I'm definitely sure. I say that's why they out there trying to tell people don't vote for Republican people. But at the same time, it's you Democrats that have sat on our school board and destroyed our school system. But you won't admit it. But we know that they're doing these things to us. But yet you still have people out there. No, you need to vote this way. No, I'm not doing it. Ain't nothing you can tell me. And to double down on it, the war zone is what it is. The Demetri K show is what it is. Donovan got a show. They got a show together. Yeah, but I'm coming with a brand new one. A brand new podcast. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's from a conservative frame of mind. Uh-oh. So if you're a Democrat, it probably ain't what you want to listen to because I'm going to tear your ass up. I'm telling you, I'm going to tear your ass up. Sex, lies, and politicians in Harris County. I'm going to tell the truth, man. And the truth of the matter is we are behind and we're never going to get to where we want to go because we are letting the blind lead the blind. I'm just reading.
I am too.
It's time to get on Al Green and Sheila to get that George Floyd bill on the federal level. Let it go, bro. Bro, let it go, man. 2022, man. Let it go, man. If they ain't did it by now, it ain't gonna get done. The Republicans are going to control the House and the Senate again in 2022. And it's not because the Democrats have done a horrible job. Now, listen to how I say it. It's because they ain't did nothing. They've done nothing. And all this, we need to get on Al and Sheila. Well, y'all ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Y'all gonna keep taking pictures with them people. Y'all gonna keep taking them turkeys from them people, man. We hear this all the time. Sheila need to go. Well, y'all keep voting her back in. Man, come on, man. We ain't gonna do none of that. None of that. We talk a good game. We talk like G's, but we don't walk like them.
I'm almost speechless. But you brought up the George Floyd bill and you put that on Al Green and Sheila, which I guess is in their neighborhood. So I guess I see why you do that. But look how fast they got that anti-Asian hate bill passed. Look how fast they got that passed. It wasn't
That was unanimous, wasn't it?
Unanimous. And Georgia's been gone how long? Since 2020? 2020 that happened?
Yep.
So, and next May, it'll be 2 years it's happened. So they've been trying to get a bill passed. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. What's the problem?
I think we ought to pass a local bill. It should be a local bill. If we could just do a local one. And it's one simple bill. Get rid of Rodney Ellis and Sylvester Turner. That's what we need to do. We want to hold these white folks accountable for black communities, but we don't want to hold these black folk accountable for the communities that they done left behind. We could talk about this all night, but I really appreciate you taking the time out to come hang out with a crazy black Republican. Because that's what it's going to be forever and ever now. So y'all get ready. Dirty Politics Wednesday night. We're going to expose a few things. I may be making an announcement on Wednesday night. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see where we are. And if so, let the chips fall where they may. And that's what it is. And that's how I feel about it. Say, I want to thank Demetri K for taking the time out to come hang out with me, man. But you know what it is. We back in business. It's the war zone. I'm back in this business, man. And I ain't finna hold no punches.
All of y'all finna get the business, especially in Harris County. So on behalf of Demetri K, I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow night, I'll holler at you.